Fetus. They had a comic made in 2012. It will be the first officially licensed comic by Vincent Brucio's E-Comix.net. With the success of the Dying Fetus comic, E-Comix would go on to create an Autopsy comic as well as their famous Pussycat series. The Dying Fetus comic would sell quickly at all of the venues that they played and would get a lot of recognition. First, it has a nice cover artwork. It's cartoony and gory, but it goes well on t-shirts. This comic has a lot of great things in here. You've got hookers doing drugs. Hookers doing drugs while making their money. Psychopaths doing drugs. Babies getting ripped out and slaughtered. Get it? Dying Fetus. Dying Fetus posters. Dying Fetus being on one page in the background. People getting punched under disco balls. People being set on fire like in Postal. And evil neighbors finally getting homicidal retribution. See what I did there?
So we start off with Emperor Palpatine getting subjected to a beating by the police, but he likes it, and so he feeds off their energy and blows their brains out. Gore on the first page. That is how you start a comic. Oh my, look at his face on the second page. He's just looking like, Gah! So we have this anti-capitalist character, Alex, who throughout the comic basically speaks and acts only in violence. What would this all be without Dying Fetus song references? On the second page alone, I see 3 references to albums or songs. Very nice. We also have this group of Casey Jones lookalikes who are protesting the police and cost of education on campus. And Emperor Palpatine is trying to take them over. But he's also trying to take over the metal dudes at the Fetus show. And some hookers. And some hippies. Why? So that way he can take out the senator and go on a rampage. To help with this, he does heroin to vindicate his vengeance. I gotta say, the story and scenery jumps around too fast and too much, but I'm enjoying the language of this comic. Every box practically is trying to be a quote, and some of them come off as accidentally funny because of how dramatic they are. I burn his kids because I've always been a sucker for fireworks. I will kill your kids before their first prom date. Manipulating metalheads is downright painful. Well, you got me there. I shall use your press against you and laugh when you change the channel. Your blood is my wine, America, so every day I will cut you.
'Cause I will cut you.
After vindicating his vengeance, he shoots his diddly neighbor Reno, burns his kids, and rapes and kills his wife. Afterwards, he goes out and kills more bystanders. Yep, that's basically what this comic is. Some crazy guy who's free roaming like you would in Grand Theft Auto. The senseless, unjustified violence in this one. He takes his Casey Jones team of anarchists and goes to kill some politicians while giving a speech about how it's their fault violence happens. We'll kill you with guns and say it's your fault they're on the streets. Wow, for a violent comic, it sure is political. Well, after disemboweling a pregnant woman, a guy wearing a Dying Fetus shirt hits Alex with a pipe, and then he's arrested and sent to an institution. There, he tells the readers that he'll be considered a hero for everything he's done in the comic. But then, a magical baby appears from nowhere and comes through the door, and he torments Alex mentally, and then he slices him up. Whether he's real or not, or just a hallucination, I do not know.
Well, that was an interesting ride. Everything's drawn really nicely in this comic. Even the backgrounds look really good. But I'm not for the occasional CG drawings in this. Most of the time it looks hand-drawn, but then you get to the pages where the babies are being thrown, and just the babies look blurry, and it's kind of a turn-off because I'm just not really into CG-drawn things in comics. And then there's the part where the senator's head gets blown off, and then you can kind of tell that that's also computer-generated. If Frank Miller can make getting your head blown off look convincing in the 90s in Sin City, then anybody else can too. The story is also a bit jumbled and hard to follow, but if you're reading this for the story, then you're reading it way wrong. The best way to read this is to pop in Killing on Adrenaline and flip through the pages. Ooh. And the only way this can really relate to Dying Fetus is in spirit, because Dying Fetus is only in one page of the comic. Not to mention, the general theme of the comic is political violence, which Dying Fetus talks about a lot in their music. If they were to make a sequel to this comic, then they should have Dying Fetus take more of a presence in it. You know, like have somebody try to assassinate the band while they're performing, and then, just as the assassinator pulls his gun out, Dying Fetus turns into monsters, and they throw their guitars, and they throw their amps, and they rip people to shreds. That is a comic I want to see happen. But if you are in the mood for cheesiness, go for it.